This is part B of example 2. We want to solve the quadratic equation x squared equals negative 25. Using our square root property, where x squared is equal to k, then our solution set is positive and negative square root of k. If I rewrite it, I will end up having x is equal to the square root of negative 25. Which takes us to one of the special cases of our square root property. My k in this case is negative, and if my k is smaller than 0, I have a set of imaginary solutions. My solution set would be positive and negative I times the square root of the absolute value of k. So my solution set will be positive and negative I stands for imaginary number, the absolute value of k. To find the absolute value of negative 25, which is my k in this case, I would like to review a little bit with you what the absolute value is. The absolute value of any number, it's talking about the actual amount that that number represents. Whether it's positive or negative, we don't worry about that. The absolute value only considers the actual value of the number, the actual amount it represents. For example, the absolute value of negative 3, whether it's positive or negative, the amount that it represents, it's 3. The absolute value of positive 3 is also 3. It represents a value of 3. My students like to say it cancels the sign, but it's not canceling the sign. It's just that the absolute value focuses on the value of the number that you have inside your absolute value. For the absolute value of negative 25, the amount that it represents, it's 25. So after I do this special case, my set of solutions is positive and negative I times the square root of 25, because the absolute value of negative 25 is 25. 25 happens to be one of our perfect squared numbers. The blue one right here at the bottom. This one right here. The square root of 25 is 5, which means I don't need the root anymore, and my solution set is positive and negative I 5. Or if you want to, you can use your fancy solution set, positive and negative I 5. And as a side note, if you want to separate them, you can also have I 5, comma, negative I 5. As a side note, I 5 is the same thing as 5I. It's just a different way of writing it. Some textbooks or some professors might use either or. And I might alternate in between them, so I apologize. But I 5 is the same thing as 5I.